My name is Syed Najaf. I'm doing my major in FCCU, and my major is Mass Comm. And by my profession, I'm a professional makeup artist. And today we have Maheen Zia with ourselves, who's from WRSM department. So let's see what she has to say. First of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. I really, really appreciate your time and effort. So could you please explain a bit about your educational background?
So I have done my MS in applied linguistics with a specialization in computer assisted language learning and corpus linguistics.
Okay,
Basically, I studied how to integrate technology in language teaching,
okay.
and I earned a gold medal for my MS.
Oh, that's really nice.
And right after that, I got into academia and
Okay,
have been teaching since 2019.
okay.
But I just started when I was in my MS.
Oh,
So I was a student at the same time, and as well as so at the same time, I was both doing my MS and teaching.
okay. So what brought you here in FCCU?
Well, after having taught at three different universities, I chose
Okay,
FCCU. I
okay,
have taught at NCA, I have taught at PU, I have taught at FAST, that's my alma mater as well.
okay.
FC, I believe it gives you a lot of liberty when it comes to following your teaching methodology, designing
Mm,
your courses, and also
mm-hmm,
experimenting. I mean, experimenting in a good way with things.
mm-hmm,
So it gave me a lot of liberty in classroom and I could do my own thing. I could follow what I deemed right. And again, it offered me a lot of exposure that was missing in other three
mm-hmm,
universities that I
mm-hmm,
worked
mm-hmm.
with.
So how has your professional experience been like in FCCU?
My professional experience has been very well so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I attend conferences, I deliver talks. Also, I get to interact with a lot of people.
okay.
I won't use the word diversity because I think it's a buzzword. So yes, I get to interact with a variety
Mm-hmm.
of people, and yes, basically exposure. Also, I got international exposure.
Okay. It's okay. So before we delve into more questions, I would like to introduce you about a bit about the topic. So the topic is impact of family support system on the lives of female professionals in Pakistan. So first, I would like to ask you: do you really wanted to be a teacher from the very start, or do you have any other childhood dreams?
Honestly, no. I actually kept hopping from one childhood dream to the other.
Okay,
So first, I really wanted to be an architect.
okay, that's impressive.
I also wanted to be an artist, miniature artist.
Okay,
I wanted to be a sculptor at one point,
mm-hmm.
but architecture has been the strongest of all.
Okay,
But I couldn't pursue it because of certain reasons
okay,
regarding chances of employment, and
okay,
because in the context of Pakistan, we
mm-hmm.
have to view things differently
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to choosing our major.
Mm-hmm.
So I just switched to applied linguistics as a major, and then it has been applied linguistics all the way
Okay.
throughout.
So are you satisfied with that?
Yes, I think I have settled down in terms of my career. So at this point, yes,
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with academia. Also, there's no other option left. And also, I enjoy teaching. I
Okay.
never knew I'd enjoy teaching, but I really do.
Okay. So, how do you define success in your professional journey?
I define success as something when you never get tired of doing what you do on a daily basis. So if you love your
Mm-hmm.
job, you do not get tired. If you
Mm-hmm.
love your job, you love experimenting with
Mm-hmm.
different things. So I experiment a lot with my teaching methodology, and I get to learn new things also from, I feel it's university teaching, it's a two-sided process.
Mm-hmm.
My students get to learn from me, and I get to learn from them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to learn a lot from people on the other side of the desk.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is what makes university teaching interesting and a lot of fun at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy university teaching, but
Mm-hmm.
particularly university teaching
Okay.
because I don't like spoon feeding.
Okay.
And also I just have to guide students, and also hearing them share their views and people coming from different backgrounds sharing different
Mm-hmm.
experiences and insights. It has contributed a lot towards my development
Mm-hmm.
as a teacher and as a person as well.
Mm-hmm.
So at the same time, I am their motivator and they are my motivators as well.
Okay. So, as you mentioned that you have a lot of educational experience, so do you really think that it actually helped you at some point in your life?
think university education, it teaches you, it shapes you differently, and which is very different to school and college level education, where it's only reading, and you don't have to be intellectually very much involved with the assignments that you do. But at university, if you don't pick a major of your choosing, and research topics your major, it's your call,
Yes.
right? So if you aren't genuinely interested in pursuing a major or in carrying out a certain research, you cannot do justice to that topic, to that particular research area. So you have to be really involved, right? So I think university has taught me this one thing, that if it's not your interest, if it doesn't genuinely interest you, just put it aside.
Okay.
And also a lot of assignments are inquiry focused, especially when you're doing your MS, that is a research degree, and also your bachelor's thesis. If you're not genuinely interested, it won't work out for you.
I also think that comparing to university and college studies, in universities you get a lot of more confidence because of the group assignments maybe you do, and all over the experience you get a bit more confidence, especially for introverts as well. So do you agree with this?
Especially, sorry,
For the introverts as well.
for the introverts. Well, I have always been an extrovert.
Okay.
So yes, I think when it comes to confidence building, yes. Those who haven't been debaters in school or college, those who have never gotten on the stage, those who haven't been provided any platform in school or college to present their views, to defend their views, I think university, it's a very good place, and it's a very good space to get to know people and also to share your views with other people.
So also, did you face any obstacles during this whole professional journey?
Well, a lot of obstacles. Is it academically, emotionally, or anything else?
Whatever you like to want to share, you want to share.
There have been a lot of obstacles.
Okay.
First, I landed into this major, but it's not like I couldn't make a 180-degree shift into applied linguistics. It was just that I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed studying languages. So it's like partially I pursued my interest, and there was academically, it wasn't very hard. I believe till A levels it's very, very hard, especially you're doing 3 different subjects. In O levels you're doing 8 different subjects. So university education is more directed.
Okay.
There were hurdles academically. Yes, academic hurdles, like you have to stay up all night and then there is an assignment due next day. These sorts of things. I am not going into this because it's going to take the whole day,
Okay.
right? Emotionally, yes, adjusting into a new university environment, and I changed school for my O levels, then my A levels, then my bachelor's, and then got into FAST after having done my undergrad from Kinnaird. So it has been a journey where I picked a different institute for each of my degrees.
Oh.
So adjusting, socially you also face a lot of obstacles. So adjusting, it's hard mentally, but once you've settled in, once you're there in the new place and you're comfortable, I think it settles down.
Okay. And what advice you can give to them, such people who are facing very similar issues like yours?
Be very, very clear. Just be very, very communicative. If you do not communicate with your professors, with your advisors, and even with your class fellows, you will fall behind in a lot of things. So if you have an issue, just go talk to the professor, go talk to the advisor, especially at this university. That makes students very comfortable. Other universities, it's not, it's very, very different. So at this university, people will actually listen. They will actually be interested in different views. They will be tolerant towards differences.
If we talk about such women who are doing jobs as well and also they're studying, so do you think that they are not mentally that strong, or do they have to face a lot of stress? And have you have any experience when you are doing study and also doing the job? Do you have any experience, such experience, that you are doing studying as well as a job as well?
Okay, so women who are studying as well as doing
Their jobs.
any part-time or full-time jobs, I think it is very hard when you are trying to manage, you are juggling between 2 things at the same time. So some of them, they are studying in the morning and they are working part-time jobs. Some of them are also working two jobs and studying in the morning, attending their classes, doing their assignments and managing everything. It's very, very hard. And for women especially, because they are not heard and they are not understood the same way as other genders. I am talking about Pakistani society. You know the typical mindset.
Yes.
So if she is going out alone, and a lot of times you have to be on your own. So at a lot of times you have to be on your own. You have to go out at the odd hours as well. And you have been basically when you're managing things, there are a lot of things that you have to do that defy the social norms. Let's say they have to drive, they have to learn how to drive because they might not be able to afford other cheaper options. Not only is it cheaper, it's also more convenient. So finding convenience in getting your views heard. I mean, for men, it's understandable. For a lot of people around you, let's say, yes, they have the financial responsibility. They're working as well as they're studying at the same time. But for a woman, people do not understand. They might think they're doing it out of fun. So a lot of them, they are giving private tuition to kids in their area. But I believe they have very limited options. They can provide private tuitions to kids, or they can do something that does not require them to step out of the house late at night or even past the sunset. So for a guy student, it's different.
Yes.
For a woman student,
It's
it's very,
different.
very different.
Yes.
She has a financial responsibility. A lot of students have financial responsibility, a lot of female students, but it's taken very differently.
Yes.
If they share it with other people, they might perceive it very differently.
Yes,
Whether
that's
she
true.
needs it or not, whether she's doing it out of fun.
Yes, that's
And
true.
also options are very, very limited.
Yes. And talking about our own country, what do you think are the general stereotypes that working women do face?
Where should I start? There are hundreds and thousands and the list goes on.
The most important one, or do you think the one we should be noticed the most? And
Okay, let me give you an example.
okay,
You are watching a Pakistani play and there is a female villain.
okay,
So do we call it a vamp? Female villain. Okay, let's call it a female negative character.
okay.
Female
Negative
antagonist.
character.
Okay. She works, she drives, she has an opinion, she's very, very vocal. So all these characteristics, do you think, I mean, any person, any sane person possessing such characteristics, do we need to view them negatively or do we need to portray them in a negative light?
No.
Do you really think so?
No.
So when a woman has a voice, has an opinion, she can drive, and let's say she knows how to operate ATM card. She is working, she is stepping out of the house in the morning, and she has an office job, she's an executive.
So she's a negative character.
Yes, always, all the time. She's portrayed as somebody very, very, very evil and negative. And that is not true for a man. In the same drama, you will see the hero, that very, very positive character, that protagonist, who has the very same characteristics. But when it comes to women, I mean, dramas are based on stereotypes. So there are stereotypes, and people think if somebody is financially independent, they would be such and such. A woman who has a voice, she would always use it negatively. Women who protest for other women, I mean, they say, you're going to Aurat March, you are speaking from a place of privilege. If it has not happened to you, why on earth do you need to go and march for the other women? But if somebody chooses to do it for the other women, it becomes a problem. So if I post a status, people start judging me. So if I have a voice, they start thinking, okay, she has a voice. She posted a status. Same thing is not happening to her. Why is she so much concerned? If somebody is raising a voice against the injustice that women face on a daily basis, they are, I mean, all the feminists, I hope it's not blasphemous to use the word feminist here.
Okay.
So people think of all such women as misandrists.
So as you said, that women who have a strong voice, who can drive or who can use ATM are being portrayed as a negative character. So, do you think that this thing only happens in our own country, or do this happen in other countries all around over the world as well?
I think it's pretty common all over the world, but with varying intensities and frequencies. It's if women are stereotyped more in this part of the world, they might be stereotyped in another way in the other part of the world. But the thing is that why women need movements for their voice to be heard, and for their rights to be acknowledged. It's because feminism movements and movements like these are not coming from only this part of the world, but they're coming from all the other parts of the world as well. We have the Western model, we have the South Asian model, and we can have other models, right? So I think women around the world have their set of issues which are very similar, but at some point, at some places where literacy levels are higher, people might be more accepting, but it's not that 100% people are very much tolerant and accepting towards women. So women face issues all around the world, and there are a lot of things. I mean, things list goes on. So I'm not
Yes.
going to talk about every issue, but some issues are very very common, and women's voice, it needs to be heard all around the world. That is why Aurat March, it's not just new to Pakistan. It's there, and also women's movements they're ridiculed, they're made fun of all over the world. Women face a lot of backlash when they speak for their rights, and people might think they are men haters or something like that, or they're just trying to gain attention. But I believe the issues are very, very genuine. I have traveled at a lot of places,
Okay.
and there are some of the things that are very, very common.
Okay. So, and do you think that such women who are being portrayed in a negative character, like working women especially, so do their mental effect is being affected by all of this, and how they can actually cope with it?
I believe people need to start talking to each other.
Okay.
So if you start talking to the other women around you, if you have a discussion with a woman, you'll eventually find out a working woman has a lot in common with a working man. And a working man, he has more chances of being heard. Whereas a woman who's financially independent, who's doing all things right, I mean, she's legally doing nothing wrong, she's officially doing nothing wrong. So it's just that we are not, we haven't viewed women in such leadership positions, or the concept of working women altogether, it's very, very much new to us. I think people need to talk things out. We need to have more discussion centered around this. And also I'm teaching WRCM 102 and linguistics at the same time, where students are doing research on gender-based language, both gender-based and gender-biased.
Okay.
So they are looking into this battle of sexes thing, battle of genders, battle of sexes, which has
Okay.
been there for a really long time.
Okay. So do you think that, as you said, that they need to talk to someone? So does mentorship play some kind of role in all of this?
Yes,
And who was your mentor?
I have a lot of mentors,
Okay.
a lot of people in my life who I consider mentors. From my family, let's say both my parents, my elder sister,
Okay.
and that is all about my immediate family.
Okay.
Also, my thesis supervisor in my MS,
Okay.
who was the dean of faculty at that time, and she is the only female director. She's serving as the director of FAST these days, and she's the only woman director in the history of FAST.
Okay.
And I believe the facts are right. And also there were other people who inspired me and who I call mentors. So there was not one mentor, there have been
A lot.
more mentors, yes.
Okay. And also, like as you just said, that you have a lot of mentors. So how mentorship actually played a role in your whole professional life?
Well, I think
You know, when sometimes you're very emotionally low, so if someone is there to heal you, so
Yes, I have had my fair share of those emotional lows as well. So, yes, I think everyone's born as a clean slate. Everyone struggles with low self esteem. I think more people struggle with low self esteem. And a lot of people, they are not sure of their strength. A lot of students, even at university, they are not sure of what major suits them right. I think mentorship not only puts you on the right track, it's like giving a right direction to somebody in a way that does not sound imposing. Just let them embrace their true self.
Okay.
And honestly, I never knew what my true self was, what my true calling was. So students are even, they have mistaken ambitions. They think they want to become a doctor. A lot of ladies say that we want to become either a
Or
teacher
there
or a
is also
doctor.
family pressure as well.
Exactly. Family pressure and also social pressure. Let's say a girl, she wants to be a, you will hear more girls saying, I want to be a doctor. And you will hear more boys saying, I want to be a pilot. A lot of girls, I mean, it might be a mistaken ambition in a way that they are girls. They have grown up listening that there are only two professions that you can pursue, either lecturership or you can just be a doctor,
Be a doctor.
and that too in a particular field. You cannot be uh, a neurophysician. You can be, I mean, if you just specialize, do it in something like gynecology and don't go beyond.
And also for such females who wants to be teacher in their future life, so what advice you can particularly give to them who are just starting as same profession as yours?
Number one, something that every woman needs to hear: believe in yourself. You can do much more than you expect yourself to do.
How do you stay motivated, and how do you stay motivated when you are in a lot of stress, or as I said, when working women are being portrayed in a negative character? How do you stay motivated? Do you just don't listen to all of those allegations, or do you do any exercise or anything else, or do you just focus on your work?
Well, honestly, it feels very, very, very bad, right? Just because a woman is, well, when I earned a gold medal in CA, just think of it as a place where you will find people who are not used to stereotyping, right? Even in that place, I heard, oh, yes, women can easily get gold medals. Women can easily excel at something because this, and that, a lot of wrong reasons, right? So, also at my convocation, somebody from my class, a man from my class, a male student from my class, who couldn't earn a place, the top three spots,
Okay.
he said, even if the females have earned those first three positions, they won't go beyond kitchen. They won't step out of kitchen.
So
What's the
this is
use in
the
awarding them the
mentality.
awards?
Yeah, so this is the mentality over here,
That is
right?
the mentality.
So as you just said, the kitchen thing. So now let's come to a bit of such women who are married and they're also working. What type of issues they are facing right now in our country?
Okay, women who are married, women who are trapped in troubled marriages because they work and because they earn, they might be earning equal to or more than their husbands. Even though they are helping them out, still they are viewed in a very, very negative light. They are viewed very negatively. Even though they are contributing, they are working in the morning, they are doing office job in the morning, and they're getting home in the evening, they're taking care of the house, they are helping children with their homework, they are working in the kitchen, and they get to assume a lot of roles. And a human being, be it male or a female, is not made for multitasking. This is something put it as which we need to put aside for robots. So we are not robots. Still, we are expected to multitask. And my sympathies with those who are married, and especially with those who have troubled marriages just because they work, just because they are very good professionals. And I have also heard a woman say, "I got a promotion, but I never shared it with my in-laws." Also, I never shared it with my husband, and then he found out. And also, she had to face a lot. because they found out through other means. And what's wrong in getting a promotion?
Nothing.
There is something better coming to your place. I mean, she's doing well. You need to support her. Also, Alhamdulillah, I've been very lucky. I have got parents who have always celebrated women's success. So my parents have always celebrated successful women.
So, and also as you talk about, that they don't share their success with their in-laws. So, do you think that support from in-laws is different from the support from the family you're getting?
I believe if family, I think most of the time is supportive. Because it's their daughter, it's the one who they own, who is getting all that success, who's getting all that awards. So, I mean, I believe I am speaking from a place of privilege because my parents, I have seen a working mother, I have seen a working sister, I have seen working aunts. And also, if I go one generation back, I have seen some working grand aunts and grandmothers as well, right? So in my case, it might be different, but for the other women who have in-laws who are not very supportive, people do have toxic parents. People have parents who are not very supportive of their decision to pursue a career.
Yes.
I think supporting them in their decisions, they're doing nothing wrong. They're only going out and working and earning through the right means.
Let's come to such women who are coming from a bit, village side area. So, their families are a bit different than if we compare to families living in cities. So their mentality is just like, okay, if the woman is grown, so she should be just married. She just not continue her studies. But that woman has a dream of working, growing more forward. So what advice you can actually, can give to their families? So do you have any advices that you can give to their families that can stay them that can actually motivate them for their daughters to let them work?
It is 21st century. People are landing onto the moon and we are still stuck in Stone Age. I think we need to make our way out of
Because
Stone Age.
I still think that these things still happen in our country. This is not like okay, the our generation is so much we have gone for too much far away, but these things still happen in our country, right? Especially if you talk about village areas and all of those areas, the family still thinks in that way that women don't need to work.
I think not only are women, just don't take it as if I am biased in my opinion, but women are more hardworking students and a lot more hardworking professionals. I'm not saying men are not. I have amazing male students and I have, let's say, I have met amazing male professionals. But what do you think? I think women do
Do you think they are
outperform
more
men.
passionate?
I think they're more passionate because, let's say, it's that reverse psychology. I hope I'm right about this term.
Okay.
So I'm using a terminology that I'm not sure of anyway. When you are restricted, when you are put under certain limits, you tend to break free and you tend to grow out of all those things. And that is why women struggle hard when it comes to studies. Women struggle hard when it comes to promotions because it's not coming easy. So women struggle a lot more because they know D grade, if a brother gets D or an F grade, it would be fine. But if I get a D or an F grade, I'll be given to somebody else as a bride the very next day. So I think also if we see economically, Pakistan can progress. Let's say our women population, let's say even if it's 50-50 or 49-51, and we just like handicapped people, we lock them and we confine them to homes and kitchen, whereas they can do much more. They can do a lot more. So economically, we can see ourselves in a much better place. Let's just look at your neighbors. And all I think ISRO team had 8 females who were taking care of that mission. So I think our women have minds, our women can look beyond kitchen, can do a lot beyond kitchen.
Also, what do you enjoy most about your work, about your profession?
About my profession,
And
I
what's
think
keep you passionate about it?
because Alhamdulillah, I've been lucky. I am not doing traditional teaching. It's not one-sided instruction that I'm giving to the students and they're writing things as they are. But I believe I am teaching humans, not robots. And it's not just that they are recording everything. They are listening to what I'm saying and they are getting involved with their work. And also, teaching adult students, it's a very different experience.
As you just said that you don't like,
Even though that requires a lot of hard work, and I salute teachers, especially those who teach these toddlers, especially preschoolers and nursery and playgroup. But teaching adult students, it's a bit different, even though they judge you really hard at times. But I think I can share my opinion, I can listen to other views, and also there are students from other majors who might know more in their subject area than I do because I come from a certain background. There are psychology majors and then there are pure sciences majors. So I get to learn a lot from my students, and that two-sided learning experience, it's something that adds a lot of value to the work that I do.
So wrapping up really quick, my last question from you is, what type of social support women need in Pakistan? It can be anything.
When you say social support, can I talk about certain workplace experiences, the
Yes,
things that I get
yes,
to hear?
yes, whatever.
Okay. So if a woman is married, then even though everybody sympathizes with her at work, because I really know they have more challenges. They're coming, they're coming from a different setup and they have in-laws who might not be very supportive, right? They might be stuck in the harder situations, right? But those who are not married, we hear things like, what do you do all day? You have all the time in the world on your plate. So even if they are doing very well professionally, even if they are teaching with a lot of passion, even if they are contributing a lot to the research work, still people think they have a lot of time. Their parents might be rich. They might not be taking up the financial responsibility like sons. It like I just, that one thing got to my mind again that happened during COVID when I was supervising the construction of my home with my parents. And I was doing everything, I was very much involved in that project and we were doing everything from scratch. So we were not relying on contractors basically.
Okay.
So I was going to the, shops, buying material, from buying materials to doing all the interior and everything, to all the finishing. I was very much involved. So somebody said, you're not married, you don't have kids. What's your excuse? Why do you even need to apply for a leave? Then I had to go to that shop where I was buying materials from. I had to take snapshots. Look, I'm with my parents. We are supervising the construction. We are doing all by ourselves. I have to prove that there is something like, let's say, I have a 5-year-old niece whose mother is also working mother, right? And in the morning, I am taking care of her online class. If it's a smoggy weather, let's say, I'm taking care of her homework. Or let's say I might have other responsibilities at work. You have to be very, very explicit when it comes to talking about the responsibilities that you're taking up as an unmarried woman. I know it might be harder for women with children, but it's not like I don't have a responsibility. I have a family, I have an immediate family, and I also have responsibilities at home. But for them to think of it as responsibility, it's very, very hard. And I think this is not the only issue that I am facing. So, log kisi ko nahi bakshte. They won't spare anyone. So, females who are married, again, it's a different set of challenges for them. But for somebody who does not have the responsibility of their own biological children, they might be taking care of a lot of other things that you don't know of. But people, let's say I just heard an advice. I was very vocal about certain issues that students were facing. I thought I should talk about it and we should figure it out, which is possible.
Okay.
They say, just stop being very, very vocal. Once you're married, you have in-laws. Even if they're doing something wrong, you won't be in a position to speak. So please, let's just be in that position where you don't have to regret later. Now, do I really need to regret for something that is right? For issues that the students raise that are very, very genuine. So I was raising voice for something that was genuine, but women don't have to be very vocal. When I heard it in that context, I mean, had it been a male raising voice for some issues that students are facing, it would not have been received the same way. And I mean, I got this advice from somebody who's very senior, who I really respect a lot, but I never expected somebody to hear, I never expected to hear such advice when I was 100% honest in what I was doing. So you don't have to be honest, you just keep quiet, or just get yourself in a habit of keeping quiet.
So, you were saying that people needs to understand other people's life as well. They need to have awareness, and they also need to understand that other people also have lives, or also have their families. They have to manage other works as well. So they need awareness overall, right?
Also, this is one thing that women are never spared. And also to people who give such kind of advices and who criticize without knowing that other than in-laws and children, women
In
might
short,
also have
people
other
need to
responsibilities.
stop judging others.
Yes, do not judge anyone, and especially women are judged harder than all the other genders. So let's just not assume things, let's just not stereotype women, and let's just not put your assumption into packets which you can throw at somebody, not knowing what their situation might be. And yes, basically.
So yeah, let's hope for the best for such people. They get to know better.
Yes, I think we need to talk about these things. I also keep mentioning this, that a person who has never heard a woman, let's say you're talking about the rural areas, men over there, they might have never interacted with a working woman who lives in a town, in a developed town. So if they hear a woman, an executive from Lahore or a full-time faculty member from Lahore, they might find out they're not bad people. They are just working, they're earning through halal means. And that is all. So I think we need to have more discussions centered around this. And also we need to have a community support. Let's say people start online communities very, very easily because they can stay anonymous. So what if we just have a community at every workplace, I'm not saying union, don't take me wrong. I'm saying a community, just a support, just a group of friends you can talk to. And also those who can talk to other people. I think when in a group, you can communicate things better.
So I hope these issues get better over time, and let's hope for the best. And
Yes,
thank you
really.
so much for being here. Hope to see you again.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
I would
much.
love to be here again
Thank you so
because
much.
this topic is really close to my heart.
Okay, thank you so much.